I'm glad you're here for what I think is going to be a really curious look at the landscape of, you could say, modern thought, judgment, authority, and I better just get right to it because the book we're talking about today, wow, it's got ambition. The book is called Jurisdictionalism, Authority, Meaning, and the Right to Judge by S.C. Sayles, hot off the press from Evolzier Tulip in 2026. So, let's get to the core question, the problem this book takes head on. Sayles is asking, on what grounds does anyone, whether in philosophy, theology, science, you name it, actually have the right to judge? Not just, how do you reach a conclusion, but what gives any judgment its real authority? It might sound abstract, but it is so relevant. Every time you hear a scientist, a pundit, a pastor, or even your friend in a debate insisting this is true or that is wrong, what court, what authority are they really appealing to? Or are they just, pretending their method or their experience is the ultimate judge? That's the territory Sayles walks us through. Why does this matter for you, for any of us living in a world chock full of arguments about science, ethics, culture, politics, or pretty much anything social media has ever lit on fire? Well, it's because so much of our confusion, according to this book, and honestly just looking around, maybe that's not totally off base, arises from not bad reasoning, but from not naming or even seeing what court we're standing under. Sayles says every single act of judgment, whether it's a child arguing with a parent or a philosopher taking on meaning, stands or falls by authority, by what right, who says so, and why. Let's break down what Sayles actually argues and how he does it. The book's kind of a two-parter. In part one, he sets up this whole jurisdictional architecture. He draws sharp distinctions between authority, which is the right to judge, and power, persuasion, or influence, which aren't the same. He's really focused. Authority is conferred, not seized, not invented, and get this, not something a method or experience can grant itself. Philosophy, science, theology, they all only work right if you've named up front the real court of appeal. Then in part two, this is where things take off into the deep end. He applies the idea across science, theology, apologetics, culture, ethics, language, even law, and personhood. Each of these, Sayles argues, gets into trouble when it tries to adjudicate, make judgments beyond its proper jurisdiction, like science pronouncing on metaphysics, or the state claiming to judge conscience, or, and I love this subtle point, when language scholars assume consensus can stand as judge, the book says, nope, that's a counterfeit court. A fascinating insight he emphasizes is that argument is a witness, not a judge. Think about that. Arguments don't issue verdicts. They testify, they persuade, they clarify, but someone or something has to be the final court, or every verdict is open to endless appeal, and meaning just kind of dissolves into ongoing debate forever. That's kind of exhausting, isn't it? His thesis, not just in philosophy, but mainly, and, this is worth noting for listeners of faith, or those interested in theology, in a distinctively Christian worldview. The book claims that every court, every field's highest source of authority, ultimately converges on Christ as final judge. So, for Sayles, the ultimate source of judgment is not method, not reason, not data, but Christ. He insists this isn't anti-intellectual. Rather, it's restoring argument to its place as witness under rightful authority, and not pretending to be the authority itself. For the listener, what does jurisdictionalism mean? Probably this. Start noticing not just the arguments people make, but the courts they're appealing to, or hiding. Is someone's data being treated as the ultimate judge? Is your own sense of outrage or intuition standing as judge? Sayles wants us to ask, by what authority does any claim stand? Sometimes just naming that hidden court exposes why discourse feels paralyzed or why debates seem never-ending. This is academic exploration. It's an invitation to notice where authority actually lives in your daily life or in debates around you, and to reflect on whether that authority is rightful or maybe just a loud counterfeit. So, wrapping it up, Sayles' jurisdictionalism is a call to stop pretending that arguments or facts or feelings can judge on their own. It's about making explicit, naming the court before which every judgment stands. Whether or not you agree with his theological conclusion, that practice alone might help bring some clarity to debates that just go in circles.